I often talk about my story as well. I come from Łódź, studied here for 2 years, did not graduate from the Polytechnic. I studied architecture and then moved across the Atlantic to Pratt Institute, worked there for a few years after graduating, and then through London and Royal College ended up in Warsaw. And often I talk about my work, which is a design work. I'm a designer, product and furniture designer. But today I will only point on one of the projects, the last one, which is still in process, so it might be also interesting to you. But if you want to see some other of my work, go to the website. How many of you are interested in politics? Raise your hand. I know this guy. I'm not. So how many of you? Not too many. How about design? Wow. You see, this is the path I chose. I have to say, I'm very privileged to have this great passion and in this creative domain of design. But sometimes I do get interested in politics as well. This is a picture taken yesterday. There's no color. I don't know why. It should be color. Maybe the whole presentation will be black and white at the end, but color is important for this presentation. It's a highly visual presentation. This is a picture taken yesterday at the the European Culture Congress. As part of the Polish Presidency in EU sequence of events that take place throughout the rest, this second half of the year until the end of the year. And you could see on the slide some of the key politicians in our country, also Professor Baumann, who gave a very compelling speech, much longer than the one I'm planning to do. He's here left from the Minister Zdrojewski, Minister of Culture, and then Schetyna, the President, Komorowski, you can see the rest. Anyway, important people, but what's interesting to me is usually what people sit on. And in this case, it's a project. Sorry, something is not working. Okay, a potem będzie w kolorze. Przy tym slajdzie jest to mało ważne. Nie ma koloru. Okay. In this case, they are sitting on a piece that I designed. It's an armchair called Czesław, a nice Polish name, that is part of the set of furniture designed for the Polish presidency in the EU Council. And that's one of the pieces. I will tell you more about the project I did for the Polish presidency, showing all the pieces, but beforehand, I will go a little bit back into history and show you some significant design projects, usually furniture, that have a political significance. They are signifying years of the times that they were created. They are ways of promoting the nations. And thank you. Thank you. So now it's much better, because the color of the seats is also important. It's gray. Thank you. And it's great because the people who are sitting on it are the heroes of the situations. It's not the furniture. This is why it's often difficult to spot and understand the significance of those pieces, because they are the silent heroes. You know, they are somewhere on the back. doing the good job that they are doing, you know, both promoting the, say, Polish culture or creativity merged with entrepreneurship and also commerce, because design is a field that is somewhere in between the domain of art and culture and also commerce, also industry. So therefore it's a really good way to promote the culture, and maybe you can use it in your work. I advise you to do so if you ever choose to. It's a nice domain. You can really show the creativity of the country. You can show some of its heritage, some cultural elements, and also that things are happening here, that there is an industry here. Polish furniture industry is one of the biggest in the world. Not many people know it, and there's a lot of great developments are happening. So anyway, this is the armchair called Czesław. I will get back to it later, but firstly I will just show you some other very important design pieces that throughout the history have striked in both culture and diplomacy and politics and marked a really important role. This is a classic from Achille Castiglioni, Italian designer, designed it for Floss. It's a very high-end lighting manufacturer in Italy. And it was featured, as you can see here, in the film Diamonds Are Forever. This lamp, Best Light, from 1930, was the favorite of Winston Churchill, and I can show you his little desk. And it was a piece very important to him. He often traveled with this small object. Another piece of design that is often used in diplomacy is the Parker 51 fountain pen. And that's an absolute classic and was used to sign by Marshal Montgomery the Treaty of Germany's surrender in 1945. Here you can see the G8 summit. The guys, Yeltsin, Clinton, Chirac, whatnot, are sitting on chairs from Vitra, designed by Charles and Ray Eames, called soft pad chairs. And they are still in production by Vitra and are somewhat somewhat popular and important pieces of design. Here you can see other Eames chairs in TV programs featuring Franz Beckenbauer in '82, Muhammad Ali in '75, and also the Eames chairs from Vitra at the World Chess Championship in '72. Significant during the times of the Cold War and the Iron Curtain. This is a piece from England that if you travel to London, you must have seen in the parks, Royal Parks. This was designed very long time ago by unknown designer. It's a very durable piece. It's very, it's also a signifier. It's very stunning and really refers to the royal gardens. It does connect most people in England and elsewhere connected to this place, and it also gained importance because it's featured in the sculpture placed on Old Bond Street, where it has Franklin Roosevelt and Winston Churchill sitting on it, and this is how it really made a mark in history, and it's therefore regarded as a significant piece related to politics as well. This chair, most of you have seen. This is the president, the director's chair, and this is chair that was designed actually in ancient Egypt by unknown designer for commanders of the army. It's a portable chair, foldable chair, and then of course it gained its importance during the time of films from Hollywood and so on. And many designers have tried to redesign it to refer to this typology in contemporary times as well. Another very important historic piece designed by Otto Wagner for a bank in Vienna at that time was kind of communicating technology of the time. It has a single band of wood connecting the front legs, the arm rests, and the back to one piece. It was absolutely groundbreaking, and you can see it here in use. Manufactured by Tonnet, and really significant mark in the history of design. Frank Lloyd Wright designed this for the hotel, important hotel, Imperial Hotel in Tokyo, and this was a way of kind of merging the American culture with the Japanese culture, and it was designed to actually be spoken about as some sort of a connector between the cultures. Of course, the things discussed there had to do with that as well. Another important thing, piece of furniture from Art Deco looks very modernist because it was super simple, and that's probably why it lasted very long and was used in very high-profile interiors throughout Europe and the States for till today. And then there is a history of pavilions, of national pavilions, and this one you might have seen in Barcelona. It's the pavilion designed by Ludwig Mies van der Rohe, and it's a German pavilion showing the Barcelona chair. One you've probably seen. It's a classic of design produced till today, and this pavilion was designed to actually host the royal family of Spain during the events of the exhibition, of the international exhibition there. In Scandinavia, a lot of social projects have happened that created stunning design pieces that influence design till today. And the architect and designer Alvar Aalto designed this chair for as a sanatorium and bending plywood, and this was groundbreaking technology at the time. So and also used for kind of a very down-to-earth social cause, established Scandinavian design at its beginning. And this is another piece from him done for a municipal library that you might know from IKEA. That's a knockoff, copied after this piece. Originally is from Arteks, and it has 3 legs, not 4 like the IKEA piece. They stack nicely and are very useful pieces till today. Not dissimilar from that is the sauna stool, absolute classic of the Finnish design, and this was done during the Olympics, Olympic Games, in the saunas where the sportsmen were hanging out. Landy chair has its name deriving from the Landsausstellung, if I pronounce it right, which means the national exhibition. The national exhibitions were very important to show off by different cultures and countries their innovation, their creative spirit, their groundbreaking thinking, and so on. That's in a nice poster, which is really nice on itself. Chair you might have seen as well is a very, so lots of chairs you see today. This is an aluminium chair done for US Navy, so it doesn't rust like other metals, and is very light, durable, and produced till today, also redesigned many times by very famous designers throughout the history, but always very durable, utility-like, and extremely strong and unbreakable, really. That's the Untitled Chair, important for the Brits. Also part of the, it was designed really for the outdoor spaces of the Royal Festival Hall in London, and it also spoke for elegance and industry at the times of after the war, where the countries wanted really to put their mark on the geopolitical map in diplomacy as well during the times after war. And this is another example which there is lots of, and actually recently traveling to Peru, actually found a similar piece. Basically, a lot of cultures have this kind of stunning icon-like pieces that refer to the culture. This is I would say, Mexican chair. Some people call it Mexican chair, or just batek, or I don't know how to pronounce it. But this one is from a woman, Clara Porce, who was a native of Mexico, then traveled around the world, studied design in the States, also in Europe, and then went back and did this piece that really, for most people, speaks for Mexican design. This is the Pope sitting on the Antonio Citerio chair. It's actually a chair designed by Robert Tomek based on the Citerio chair, but it's a throne. But Vitra has a similar piece in production that is more of an armchair for office or for say VIP person, but not as elaborated as this one, but still a very modern piece of design. This is something I did for the Polish company, and was lucky enough to sit Dalai Lama in Wrocław once upon a time when he was in Poland. And this is probably my favorite. They call it, the historians call it the chair. And it's absolute stunning piece. It's not about innovation here, it's more about refinement, subtlety. And it was designed by Danish designer Hans Wegner. And he committed this piece, this PP 501, the chair, and it was very quickly well received in many countries, in presidential palaces, and the most importantly during the Kennedy-Nixon debates. In when was it? I don't know. Anyway, and this is a funny example. Santa Elia it's a name from Zanotta, which is an Italian manufacturer, but actually it was called Benita before, created for Benito Mussolini, and for building in Como called Casa de Fastricio. A very Calvinian kind of frame made out of tube, with some upholstered pieces, a lot of personality, like the man himself. And this is back to the Presidency project. Again, you can see the Czesław, which is the armchair for all the officials, and the tables called T40. This is during the opening in the National Theatre, during the opening of Polish Presidency. You can also see lamps I designed, made with corian, that kind of flank the stage. This is how it looks like. There's also a sofa version of it, also used in the presidency salons. There's two types of chairs. This is one of them, doubled, say. VIP chair, looks very kind of makeshift and very contemporary. People say that it's a bit challenging probably for the people who end up sitting on it, but not challenging in the comfort wise. It looks much less comfortable than it is. And similarly, the K1, which is a chair designed to also show this kind of a humbleness and Polishness in the material, because all of this is beechwood. So similarly here, and all the upholstery is naturally colored wool that is associated with Polish material culture somehow. The back is metal. It's kind of looks like it's just stuck there magically. Those are the height adjustable tables again, on the bar height and also the low table. The lamp you've seen there on the stage comes in several varieties of proportion and height to create atmosphere in the presidency rooms. And this is a modular sitting system. This is just one configuration. You can, I mean, you cannot actually yet, but because this project is only designed specially for presidency, so those pieces are not available on the market, apart from the lamps that have been designed before. But this piece is modular, and the two seats share the armrest, and you can really configure different configurations for public sitting situations. And I can show you some of the situations, but they create the challenge of this project really, and this is the main thing I want to say, was to actually create a set of furniture that is so universal that it can look good and function well in very different contexts, architectural contexts. From the Justus Lipsius building in Brussels to the Sheraton Conference Center in Sopot, which has a lot of kind of Midwest corporate flooring, which looks horrible, but at the end we had to create something that really complements so many different environments. From now in Wrocław, it's in a very recently finished building, and it's very contemporary. It looks really great, and I wish I could show you those pictures. But here you can see that, you know, this kind of colors, this humble principle works within very busy, visually busy spaces like the ones with flooring like this. This is some of the configurations of different rooms of the presidency project. You can see the chairs are used more for kind of utility purposes, while the VIP chairs are much more about representing certain more important scenarios. Or you can see the modular pieces also in different configurations here. That's in Brussels. And what's funny about this is that all these pieces are actually traveling from one place to another, and then are followed by all the politicians who come and sit at them. So it's a high number of, there's 400 chairs of one type, 600 chairs of another type, and so on. So it's a big project, but still the requirements are such that the idea is to move it from place to place, and logistically is quite a complex project within itself. You can see how it works with very different contexts. The colors are, of course, the Polish Presidency logos colors, and this was a way to bring a little bit of color subtly, so not to conflict with all the surrounding, to do it in a subtle way. This is a project by Malafoy, which I chose to complement some of our work, to make sure that we do have a way to bring color where it's really gray around, like in this case. And also the beech wood, in this case, is covered in metal, which is a nice way to bring color because it's easy. You powder coat the metal and you have it. So back to this picture again, and thank you very much.